remind you to please check your chat box, your mute box. Make sure that you are muted to minimize background noise. We will have time for questions at the end. We're leaving a couple of minutes for questions at the end. However, the chat box is being monitored. So if you do find that you have some questions, please put them in the chat, or we will also try and get to them at the end. This presentation is being recorded. So the presentation, along with the slide deck that you're seeing, will be sent to you tomorrow. We'll try to get that out to you tomorrow morning. I know we only have an hour, so we are going to try and be mindful and cognizant of your time. So if you do see me here, like checking for running low on the time, and I'm just checking to make sure that we're staying within the time frame so we can get you folks home. But we will, like I said, you'll get a recap, next steps, all of the important deadlines. But we do want this booking to go as smoothly as possible for you. So this is just, I'm sorry, if you're just joining us, I just wanted to remind you again to just make sure that you are muted to minimize the background noise. So just check, make sure that you've put your microphones on mute. So this is just a little overview of the agenda for this afternoon, what this will look like. Ree will offer some opening remarks. I'll go over a little bit about the site coordinator responsibilities. We have a few new database and programming updates that we're so excited to share with you all. We'll discuss the student program options, and then we will go into what some of your next steps are. But before we get into that, I do want to introduce the Hartford Performs team here. I'll actually start with myself. My name is Catherine Davis. I'm the program manager here at Hartford Performs. I've been with the organization for just under a year, actually. It's coming up on a year next month, next October. So it's great to see all of you folks. I know we've worked together over the past year, but I haven't really had a chance to meet everybody. So I'm so glad to be here, and I'm just going to kick it over to my colleagues and have them introduce themselves and their role and what they do with Hartford Performs. So we will start with my executive director. Ree, if you'd like to take it away.
Hi, everybody. I'm Ree Poirier-Campbell. I'm the executive director, and I've been here for 11 years. And so good to see so many returning faces and some new faces as well.
Thank you. Sarah?
Hi, my name is Sarah Asmar. I'm the advancement director. I just hit my 2-year anniversary, and it's fun watching names come in and know who people are now.
Thanks, Sarah. Emily?
Hey, everybody. Great to see you. My name is Emily Wineski. I'm the programming director. This is my 8th year with Hartford Performs. I know some of you site coordinators have been here since the inception and know more than all of us. So we'll rely on that. But it's so great to see you. And we would not be possible to be in your schools without all of you. So thank you so much for being here.
Okay. Kimberly?
Hi, everybody. I'm Kimberly Cowell. I am the program coordinator. I'm coming up on year 3, and it's been exciting to see how we all work together to make this all possible. So thank you for being here.
And Colleen Estes is our finance manager. She is not with us today. I did see as we were doing the introductions that a few new people joined us. So I hate to sound like I'm beating a dead horse, but if you joined us a little bit late, just a friendly reminder to please make sure that your microphone is muted. Okay, let's get started. I am going to kick it off to Ree to get us going with opening remarks.
Well, hello, everybody again. And you can you can go to the next slide.
Next one.
I know a number of you know, most of you know what Hartford Performs is and why we are. But just a really brief recap. So we were created actually at the request of Hartford Public Schools to bring in the community arts organizations and teaching artists into the schools to do 2 things really, to support academic learning and to support social emotional development. Hartford Public Schools is our total reason for being and our full focus. The programs we develop for you. And we adapt every year to the changing needs of the district, changing curriculum, changing priorities, and that is what we are here to do. One thing that's really important, and that there is sometimes confusion about, we are not here to substitute for any certified arts positions. We never want to replace a certified arts teacher or music teacher. That is not our role. Our role is to bring the community artists into the schools, really to support classroom curriculum so that kids see new ways to connect with what they're learning in your classrooms, in just a new, creative way. So that is like the most brief history of who we are and what we do. And I will kick it back to my colleagues to talk more about what we're going to be doing this year.
Emily?
Just to expand on what Ree was saying, we really see ourselves, Harvard Performs, as the community arts provider, working with you, your certified arts educators, and your certified non-arts educators within your buildings to support and enhance arts education for all students. That's through arts-focused experiences, arts-integrated experiences, and supporting those connections happening within your school and between you and your teachers, your unified arts teachers, and your certified non-arts teachers as well. Next slide. And so what's really exciting this year is our program offerings. So our programs that you typically or traditionally have seen on our roster have been renamed to core arts integration programs. These are our 1 to 5 day visits that happen within the classroom and selected by the grade level teachers. All of these programs have been vetted by our teachers on a selection committee. Many of you participate in that selection committee each year as we add new programming to our roster. And they're really to support classroom instruction, integrating both arts and national standards. A lot of our core art, all of our K-5 core arts integration programs have an alignment to the Wit and Wisdom literacy curriculum this year. And Catherine's going to show you in a bit how teachers are going to be able to filter on the roster to find those alignments, both to the grade level and to the module, and see where those connections are made. And we're really encouraging, strongly recommending that K-5 teachers are making their core arts roster program selections with that Wit and Wisdom alignment in mind. We are also offering assembly programs this year. So Catherine's going to go more detail about how the budget is divided and split, but our assemblies bring live performances into your school community. These are 40 to 60 minutes long and designed to serve up to 150 students at a time within one of your larger gymnasiums or auditorium spaces. They're a way to increase access to various art forms and increase the school community. I know Renzulli used assemblies last year to celebrate cultural history and heritage months throughout the year. And then our last program offering for this year are our family engagement workshops. These are 30-minute interactive workshops led by one of our teaching artists and tied specifically to a book. We have 4 options right now on our roster, but we'll be expanding those. And it ties an art form to a textbook. And the intent is to offer the school to use these events later in the day to engage with families, and the workshops are really tailored for multi-generational participation. So both parents, grandparents, siblings, school-age children can participate in these activities. And then each family goes home with a copy of the book that the workshop is focused on. And I believe I'm going to pass it now back to Catherine, who's going to go into more specifics on your responsibilities, your school budget, and how you're going to make all these selections for these awesome programs this year.
Thank you, Emily. Okay, so before we get into all of that, I wanted to stop here and just discuss a little bit about what, as site coordinator, what your responsibilities are, because you are really an asset to the work that we do. You provide assistance to teachers with program selection. You are a point person, a liaison for all intents and purposes, and an arts advocate. It's as part of your role, it's to ensure successful programs in your school, assist with program selection or scheduling needs, reminding teachers of some of the very important deadlines. We'll discuss deadlines a little bit later on in this afternoon's webinar. Verifying payment vouchers, because artists do get paid. We try to cut checks twice per month. We don't want artists waiting too long to get paid. So verifying the payment vouchers, ensuring that programs have happened, and also providing feedback for improvement, because we're always looking at ways that we can improve, and we do value your feedback. But before I go on, I wanted to stop here and take a moment to say thank you all. You make it all possible, all of this work that we do. You will be compensated at the end of the year for your role as site coordinator, as well as a token of appreciation for attending this meeting. I also wanted to send a special shout out to Phoebe White. I think I saw you log in, but it's my understanding that you had really spoken our praises of Hartford Performs and the impact that our artists and the organization has had on not only your school, but Hartford Public Schools, and the type of work that we do. And your impact statement was incredibly powerful. So I did just want to stop here and say thank you so much for speaking our praises. So thank you, Phoebe.
It was absolutely my pleasure. Thank you.
Okay, so we are going to get into the budget a little bit here, but I do want to let you know that grade level teachers will need to select their programs as a team, as a grade level. So you want to make sure that before going in, looking at the budget, that you do have lead teachers for each grade level to be the main contact. That's who the artist will be coordinating with. So it should really be somebody who is comfortable with scheduling, who can provide clear, timely communication, both with their fellow teachers as well as their artists, someone who is responsive to emails and telephone calls, and like you, is a great advocate. They're flexible. They can handle unexpected changes. I know we're going into the winter season, so snow days are always, I mean, that issue comes up, and somebody who's excited about arts enrichment and can really encourage that buy-in. So please note that Hartford Performs pays all program costs, so the dollar amount that you see here is to ensure equal access for all students. So for grade levels pre-K to 8, they'll receive $20 per grade level to select the core arts integration programs that Emily had discussed earlier, those 1 to 5 visit programs. And if your school has an iGoals classroom, the iGoals will receive $20 per iGoal classroom. If you are a new site coordinator here, if you're not familiar with what iGoals is, then it's something that you probably don't need to know about if you aren't already familiar with with iGoals there. Programs are priced at $0, $5, and $10. There has been no change there. So it's really up to the teachers and after they've met as a team, what kinds of programs they want to do. Because again, how are you going to get the most bang for your buck? If you have $20 to spend, perhaps you want to see two $10 programs, or you might mix that up and do one $10, two $5, and a bunch of $0 programs. Each grade level, with that in mind, will receive at least 2 programs. Something important additionally to note this year is that all K to 5 teachers must only choose core arts integration programs that are aligned to wit and wisdom modules. And we'll actually watch a video a little bit later on in this presentation where you can see how to sort of filter by modules. And as a reminder, if you are a Montessori school, those schools book in cohorts of 3 classrooms. So this year, Core Arts Integration is shared experiences. Now, this will affect you if your school has grade 3 and grade 4 students. It's been decided that by the district, they want something that is a shared experience and is aligned with a Wit and Wisdom module. For grade 3, the Wit and Wisdom alignment is grade 3, module 4, Artist Makes Art. That is a program at the Wadsworth. It's one of the studio programs. Transportation to that will be provided by the Wadsworth. So again, grade 3, transportation is being provided by the Wadsworth to bus students over there. For 4th grade, the shared experience is with Hartford Symphony Orchestras for their I Am a Survivor Discovery Concert. It aligns with grade 4, module 2, extreme settings. And we were just notified by the district, so good news is that transportation, because it is an assured experience for all 4th graders, transportation will be provided by the district. However, because that program is a $10 program, it's important that if you have the 4th grade teachers in your school, that you let them know that once that's booked, they only have $10 left in their budget to work with. So it's up to them whether they want to choose one more $10 program, 2 $5 programs, and a bunch of $0 programs. But it is incredibly important to note that for 4th graders in the Hartford Public Schools district, once this is booked, they have $10 left to spend.
Catherine, do you mind if I
Oh.
just tag in here?
Yeah.
So our database is currently being updated and should be ready once teachers start making selections. But the idea is if you have a 3rd grade lead teacher and they start going through the website to make their selections, that if for 3rd grade, the Wadsworth would be automatically added to their cart and not able to be removed. And then they can make their other choices for grade 3. Same with grade 4. If they start the booking process and say they're a 4th grade teacher, then that discovery concert is going to be automatically added to their cart. And then they'll know their remaining budget to select programs. And so that's like currently in development as I'm speaking. I can't show you an example of it today, but it should be ready to go once your school starts making their selections.
Okay, so program enhancement options, something else that is incredibly exciting is there are many ways to enhance your programs and support your curriculum. So you have a well-rounded, I'm getting tongue twisted here, well-rounded and diverse selection of programs. Each school will get $2,000 to spend on program enhancement options. So what could that look like? You could spend it on additional core arts integration programs, $10 per teacher for up to 2 unified arts and/or PE teachers. Or, as Emily had mentioned earlier, she discussed family engagement. So you can do up to 2 family engagement workshops. Workshops are $1,000, including 60 books per workshop. Or there are assemblies, and you can select up to 4 assemblies. As Emily had mentioned, those serve 150 audience members, and assemblies are $500. So if you're going through and
I'm
looking,
sorry, Catherine, can I just want to,
Sure, go ahead.
this is,
Yeah.
so this is new this year, right? And so each school has $2,000 additional on top of all the grade level programming. And so you individually as the school, you as the site coordinator with your principal should decide how you want to use those $2,000. This is your school choice. And so you can, as we've done in the past and had unified arts and PE teachers select programming, you can continue to do that as we've done in the past, and that's how your school can use that 2,000. Or you can do a combination, which I think is Catherine's next slide, and I'm stepping on her toes a little bit here. Sorry, Catherine. You could do a combination where maybe just your music teacher wants to pick programs, and then you could use the remaining $2,000 of your budget to select a combination of assemblies or a family engagement opportunity. And I'm going to let Catherine say more.
Fine, so step on my toes away. Yeah, so here are just some examples of program enhancement options. So perhaps the music teacher selects a $10 program, and then the site coordinator will select, you guys will select 2 assemblies, or perhaps the site coordinator selects 2 assemblies and 1 family engagement workshop, or the music teacher and visual arts teacher each select $10 of programs. The PE teacher selects a $10 program, and then the site coordinator selects 1 family engagement workshop. However, and you'll see it in red at the bottom of the slides, that if you have spoken it over with your administrator, with your school, and you've decided that you absolutely want an assembly or a family engagement workshop, then it's important to note that you as a site coordinator must book that before allowing the Unified Arts teachers to book their programs, because it will eat up into the budget there. So we are going to watch a short clip, and I've been practicing the transitions here, but it will go into the browsing that we discussed. So for to YouTube, just fast forwarding to. Now you may have seen this video already, but I'm just going to play a short clip.
And we can't hear anything.
To hear it. They're not able to hear.
No, you have to share your computer sound.
Oh, and we were still trying to figure that out.
Maybe Emily or Catherine, you can just say what's on the video since you guys put it together.
Emily, since you put it together, did you want to speak on that, or I'm happy to speak on
Sure,
that?
I can do it. Yep.
Okay.
So this video is a teacher orientation, which you will have access to and can play for your teachers before they make their selections. It kind of gives an overview of who Hartford Performs is, and then shows how they get started with browsing programs and making their selections. And so, Catherine, you're going to you want to play the clip, and I'll just talk over what's happening. Here's how you get started. So you're going to go to database.hartfordperforms.org and hit browse. And you're going to see the screen of the core arts integration programs. Teachers can use the filters to filter by performance or workshop, grade level. Wow, I'm going very quick. In school or off-site. You can choose your curriculum focus, and here's where you see the wit and wisdom module connections. And so once you filter by that, only the programs that show those module connections will come up. And it definitely narrows down the options and might make it easier for teachers to select from. And so when you click on the picture, it'll show a larger description of the overview. Some of you might see that there's some new organization of information on this page to make it a little bit easier to read. And they can create, you can create a favorites list. And then when you're ready to book, those favorite lists should be at the top of the page and your teachers can add them right into their cart as long as they meet the, if the program might have some student minimums, as long as their grade level meets those minimums. I saw a question pop up. Are the programs to be scheduled during the module? Ideally, but we understand humans and school schedules and our artists' schedules might not be that ideal alignment, but ideally, yes, they would be scheduled during that module. The fourth grade symphony performance takes place during that module. It was actually created for Hartford Public Schools to make this connection.
Thank you, Emily, for sharing that. And also, in the part of the information that you'll get after this webinar with the slide deck, with the recording of this presentation, will also include the welcome video. So if you haven't already seen it, you'll be able to see it in the email that I send out. And I will also send it again next week when I announce that the roster is open for program selection bookings. Okay, so something else very exciting is we have lots of new program selections that were added over the summer. So we do encourage you to browse those, see what new offerings we have. There's a story theater by Cecilia. There's a version of it for K-5 and another version for grades 6 to 8. Putting Words to Song on Emmy Brockman, Seed to Harvest. Some dancing, so we've got some written word poetry, some animation and storytelling programs that have also been added for this upcoming school year. And then we also have offsite performances. Now, some of these may already be familiar to you because they have been on our roster for a few years. So Connecticut Ballet, they've been here for a few years. Share the Magic is coming back again this winter. The Hart School Community Division is once again offering the Nutcracker, but some newer programs include New England Ballet Theaters, The Fantastic Toy Shop. Playhouse on Park is offering Shakespeare for kids, along with Elephants and Piggies. We are in a play. New England Ballet Theater is also offering The Little Mermaid. Then you also see here Seasons Discovery Concert, Hartford Symphony Orchestra. There's Playhouse on Park, Frog and Toad. I do want to stress that if you have booked an offsite performance, if your lead teachers have booked an offsite performance, and for whatever reason you can no longer attend, we do request that it's crucial that you cancel with the organization no later than 2 weeks in advance. That allows them time to fill the space, fill the seats, but also to let Hartford Performs know that that program's you're no longer able to attend. Something else that I wanted to mention here, if you are interested in seeing a performance by Bushnell Children's Theater. Now, the Bushnell is offering such an array of exciting programs this year. Of course, in the interest of time and slideshow, I could not share or fit all of them on the screens, but in addition to Pinkalicious, they're offering Hispanic folk tales, they're offering Stone Soup, George Washington Carver. So if you are interested in the two performances I listed here, Hispanic folk tales and Pinkalicious, they are very early in the Bushnell Children's Theater season, as you can see. One is on October 9th, which is less than a month away or just a month away at this point. The other is on October 24th. So if your teachers or if you guys have decided that you want to go and see either of those performances, then I encourage you to submit the paperwork, because we know sometimes things can take a while. Submit your paperwork to administration, to whoever you need to submit it to, as early as possible to make sure that you're able to see those two performances, which again, they're super early in October. And of course, we're back with off-site field trips. So the Wadsworth Athenaeum, the Connecticut Museum of Culture and History, the Mark Twain House, the New Britain Museum of American Art are some of the off-site field trips that your students will be able to experience this year. And now I'm going to take a pause because you're probably sick of listening to me talk and turn it over to my colleague Kimberly for a couple minutes to discuss the Hartford Stage connections.
Actually,
Kimberly?
Catherine, before I jump into
Oh.
connections, there was a question about busing for the offsite. So could you just touch on that briefly before we move on?
Yep. So the busing is provided by the district. We just were notified recently that the district's providing transportation.
Only to fourth grade
Oh,
and
it's only to fourth
only
grade.
to the Hartford Symphony Orchestra. Only
Okay.
that.
So I stand
So,
corrected.
and then Wadsworth is providing busing for grade 3. If you look at other offsite programs, there is now logistical details that specify if they offer reimbursement. Some of our offsites offer reimbursement, or some of them cover transportation. So just have your teachers look closely in the program descriptions.
Thank you. Okay, now for Harvard Stage Connections. The Connections program is a multi-day classroom program that uses theater to build excitement about reading and to strengthen reading comprehension in students. A Hartford Stage artist will come to your classroom and lead activities based on the work of literature. Those that you see on the screen, we have Library Mouse for grades K through 2, Those Shoes for grades 2 and 3, and grades 3 and 4, we have Loma Unlimited. These are not going to be booked through the database like everything else. We will be sending an email out with a SurveyMonkey link for you to list your interest, and we will get that scheduled with Hartford Stage, and that would be booked separately than the layout that we just showed you for the core arts integration programs. So be on the lookout for that email. It is first come, first serve. So you'll want to make sure that you send those out to your teachers as soon as possible so that they can pick for their grade levels.
These programs are free, and so do not take away from your grade level budget. And I believe there's 50 classrooms available this year, but we do take a wait list, so encourage your teachers to sign up. Yes, they come into the school, Rebecca.
Thank you, Kimberly. Sorry, I had to take a water break there. Okay. So if you are ready to book, when you go to the database screen, you will see you have the option to either browse the programs or you can click Ready to Book. Now, something that's new this year is you can either book as a site coordinator or as the lead teacher. Now, as a lead teacher, they can book their programs for their grade level by selecting the button below, no login required. And they will get a screen that looks like this, where you will fill out the school, the site coordinator email address, first and last name, school email address, verify all of that information, and the teacher role, whether you're a site coordinator, a unified arts teacher, and then select the grade levels and the number of classrooms, but we'll go into a little bit more of this on the next slide. Okay, so you'll enter the details in its entirety, total number of students, number of classrooms. We do ask that you are as accurate as possible with the number of students enrolled at the time that you are booking your program. So use the current number of students enrolled, not the number of students that you think you might have by the time the program comes around. And then they'll get a page like this, which I like to point out. It shows what the total is of the program budget. So before clicking continue to the next step, make sure that you're using up that budget of $20. You can see it there. The teacher can verify that. They can continue to the next step, which will allow them to select their date options. And they can select 2 date options. And I know something that's come up in the past, so if they select the 2 date options, this is very helpful for teaching artists when it comes to booking and scheduling the programs. Sometimes, I mean, artists are conditioned to keep in contact with the lead teacher. So, but if the lead teacher doesn't hear anything back on the date, the more than likely that date is fine and that works. If that date doesn't work, then the teaching artist will reach out and see if there might be any other options or times or days that might be able to work. So it's very important that you put what your 2 preferences are. And if there's any important scheduling information that the teaching artist needs to know, put that information in the comment box. And then as you are finalizing the booking details, and I'm just keeping an eye on the time there, as you're finalizing the information, again, make sure that this information is correct, that you have spent the $20 budget, whatever that looks like. Maybe it's 2 $10 programs, maybe it's 1 $10 and 2 $5 programs. And then you'll get a booking confirmation. The lead teacher will receive a booking confirmation email for each program. The teaching artist will then, excuse me, the teaching artist will then follow up to confirm the date. So again, as I mentioned on the previous slide, if the date works, great. If not, they'll be in touch to see if you guys can work on a different mutually agreed upon. Now, if you're the site coordinator, as you are, and you have decided with administration and with the school that you would like to book maybe the family engagement workshops or an assembly, you will use the site coordinator button to log in to book the additional programs for your school. Site coordinator login is required to access. So when you select that, you will get a screen that looks like this. And you'll click login. And when you log in, you'll receive this screen for you to enter the 2-step authentication, which can be sent to email or phone, but we do recommend phone. It's just a little bit more secure. And once the 2-step authentication goes through, you'll be brought to a page that looks like this, which will allow you to select your school, enter your email address, enter all of your details, and then continue to the next step, where you can select family literacy workshop, any assemblies, you can select that as well, the grade levels, and again, similarly to if you were booking as a lead teacher, what 2 date options and times work best for you in the school. Then you'll want to confirm all of the information. Make sure that you have your literacy workshops, the assemblies, everything is booked. And back. And then I didn't put this slide in, but then you'll also get, similarly to the lead teacher, you'll get a confirmation email. Now, earlier on in the presentation, I did mention feedback because we do appreciate the feedback. It does help us evaluate and assess all of our programs and our teaching artists. So after each program's completed in a couple days, the teachers will receive a program response form, or if it's an assembly, this is the example I used here, an assembly program response form. We really do ask that they get completed. We try to encourage that because, again, it really does help our organization. And there are incentives for completing the surveys, which is a gift card incentive. We also really enjoy pictures of student engagement. That's highly encouraged. We also do like to see things on social media, and actually my colleague Kimberly will discuss it, more incentives later. Actually, this slide. Okay, so Kimberly, if you want to discuss if they have an assembly, a literacy night, a residency, how that's going to work.
Thank you, Catherine. So the core arts integration programs, the traditional roster programs that you're familiar with, you generally get a survey to give feedback, and there's a gift card incentive for that. And in the survey form, there is an option to upload a photo. there's $100 drawing for that. So teachers who submit photos for the programs that took place that they're giving feedback for, their name is entered into a drawing for $100 for the quarter. And we've done that for a while now. I'm not sure how many years exactly, but the past couple of years I've been the one to process them. And so getting the feedback from the teachers who have been the winners of those, it shows that there's like a great deal of appreciation, and the amount of photos that we do get in shows that the teachers are not only interested in sharing the progress of the students, the enjoyment of the students through those photos, but also they want us to know that the programs are working. And so that's great, and we love to be able to incentivize our teachers to share that with us. Aside from those photos, there are other programs such as the assemblies, literacy night, residencies, and such. And I know that Wish has been one of the schools that has posted videos of their programs. We've seen videos of like the in school assemblies with Ray Bermudez, with the whole school dancing. And we love to see those. So we're inviting you, if you are going to be posting those on social media, to tag us. So you can tag us on Instagram. You can add us as collaborators on that so that it can show on our social media as well. You can tag us on Facebook. You can tag us on any social media platform that you share on. And we just like to repost. We like to just uplift what's happening in your schools and shout out the schools for participation, for the students' achievements and activities and engagement in all the programs, and show what the arts are doing. So feel free to tag us if you have any questions about that. Please let me know. If you want me to walk you through how that works, I will do that. So yeah, just share as much as you want and let us know so that we can shout you out, shout your school out, shout out your students and all of that. Thank you.
Thanks, Kimberly. And I'm monitoring the time, so I wanted to try and leave some time there for questions at the end, as I had promised you guys. So we might have to go at lightning speed through the next couple of slides. But I did realize as I was looking through my notes, there was something that I forgot to mention, and I do want to make sure that I mention it when booking, to make sure that you only book for your grade level. So if a lead teacher logs in and notices, for whatever reason, the fourth grade their fourth grade teacher in the fourth grade has already been booked, and it should not be booked if they think that is a mistake. They need to contact the Hartford Performs team, or me, as soon as possible. Don't select for fifth grade or third grade. So if you find that your grade level is not there and that's a mistake and the grade level should be there, then contact a Hartford Performs representative as soon as possible. Okay. So after the program happens, you will verify that the program has happened. So you should get a voucher email that looks something like this for each program that has happened. Verify and submit the information, confirm the number of students, the actual number of students if that has changed, any notes that need to be included, your site coordinator notes. You're basically verifying what the teaching artist said, that everything looks good there. As I mentioned earlier, Hartford Performs pays arts providers twice per month. So it's very important to do this in a timely fashion. If I notice things aren't getting approved, you might get a friendly reminder email from me. And then as site coordinator, you'll click right at the bottom to verify that the information is true and correct, and then you'll go ahead and submit that voucher. This is how our artists get paid. So please be as timely as you can with that. Yay, the part you've all been waiting for is the roster will be opening up for selections on September 15th, but you are able to browse and see what programs there are and things like that in advance, but then you'll announce to your teachers on September 15th, next Monday, that they can go ahead and start selecting and booking their programs. Just a lay of land of the timeline that we're looking at. The roster is opening up for selection on September 15th. We'll discuss a little bit more about scheduling visits and having a Hartford Performs representative come down to your school. Ideally, we would like all of the programs selected and booked by October 3rd. And then November 14th is the deadline that we're looking at for all programs to be scheduled with the artists. That's important just because then you have the holidays coming up, things happen, people get very, very busy. And then ideally, we'd like all programs and vouchers to be completed by June 7th. Okay, whew, powering through. Okay, so if you follow us on social media, I do want to mention we have t-shirts now. I don't know if you can see, I'm wearing my Hartford Performs t-shirt today because you guys as site coordinators are really arts advocates. You're cheerleaders for arts integration, you're ambassadors. So if you have seen our shirts and you really want one, or they make great gifts for family and friends or for the artists in your life, then purchase a Hartford Performs t-shirt. A portion of the proceeds go to Hartford Performs, and this turns into a link so you can pull it that way, but it will also be in the email that I send. So I'm going to take a brief pause here because we're running out of time. And Sarah, if you would like to quickly go over cornhole.
Absolutely. So every year, Hartford Performs executes our fundraiser. It's our annual cornhole tournament. This year it is on October 18th from 12:30 to 4 p.m. at Weha Brewing and Roasting Company in West Hartford. It's just a beautiful day. Usually we have, like, every year I've been here, we've had sunshine. So just cross your fingers. Um, if you would like to register, you can use the QR code to register. However, today, if you would like to be included in cornhole, definitely, we have a generous donation of a registration. So if you are interested in being included in a drawing to win a cornhole registration, please put that in the chat. I will take down people's names. I will pick a name out of a hat, and we will let you know who won the cornhole registration. The day comes with a single elimination cornhole tournament, prize drawing, good food, good drink, and just an overall just really family friendly event. There are activities for children. So come on down.
Thanks, Sarah. Okay, so what you'll get from me by the end of the week, but ideally tomorrow, a recording of today's meeting, today's presentation slide deck, the teacher welcome video that we discussed. I believe, Kimberly, correct me if I'm wrong, that you'll be sending out the Hartford Stage Connections Program survey.
Yes, I will.
Yeah, so you can look out for that from Kimberly by the end of the week. Okay, so next steps, share the roster and the teacher welcome video with your teachers, communicate to our organization your school meeting selection dates. If you're a new site coordinator, I know there are a few of you here, we are requesting and requiring that you schedule a date and time for a Hartford Performs representative to visit your school for selection. Selection shouldn't take too long. It should take maybe 15 minutes. Sometimes we've found that staff meeting days help. But we're going to take a brief pause here. And if you see, there's a link. So let me know if you can click on that and take some time to complete that. It's a quick survey, 4 questions, and let us know. You did get an email from me saying, think about some dates that you'd like to select your programs. So if you could please put that in the survey, and I'll give it maybe a couple seconds before we move on. And let me
Catherine,
know
I
if you
think you have to put the survey link in the chat.
Oh, I do. You can't click on the, okay. Hold on. Oh, now I can see everybody. Yay. Okay, I'm copying that. Hold on. Okay, here's the survey. So if you can just take a couple minutes, or not even minutes, couple seconds to complete that. But again, it will also be in the email that I'm sending out, but please complete that. Just again, in the interest of time, I'm going to move on. If you have any questions about program selection, database bugs, hopefully we don't run into any, but if you come across something like that or more, starting next Thursday during the program selection process, I will be offering drop-in office hours on Zooms from 3 to 3:40 p.m. So that will start next Thursday. And I know that time might not be convenient for everybody. So if it's not, I'm also available on Calendly. You can schedule an appointment with me that works for your schedule to meet one-on-one. I know they may be an hour blocks. You don't have to chat for an hour if you don't want to, but I do request 24 hours notice. Again, as I mentioned, giftograms. And okay, so I know we kind of sped through all of that. I think we have time for a few questions, but if we don't get around to all of them, as I mentioned, I'll be available on Zoom or Calendly, or you can send me a direct email to this email address. But let's open up the floor to questions from our team.
Someone's asking if the principal didn't give a time and date, do you still want them to fill out the survey?
That would be preferable. So if you are able to get a date from your principal, please, please, please do, because we will be following up. We find it's easier if you're just in one spot for all of the teachers to just fill out the information. That works better than trying to chase people down. So please try and get a date if you can.
I think most of the others were answered in the chat.
Really, I spoke a lot, so I mean, maybe I'm just good and we covered everything, but
Renee has a question. Do we have to do this during a staff meeting? I was planning on using teacher prep time.
no, so it doesn't have to be done during staff meeting. It's whatever time works for you, but we do just want to know like what date that is that you plan on selecting your programs so we can keep it on our radar. We like to strive for, 100% at the time that you're selecting programs. But if we haven't heard from you, then we may start doing some additional outreach. But yes, to answer your question, it does not have to take place during the staff meeting, but we have found, and history has found, that if there's a reserved time to select the programs, it gets done faster. Anybody else?
Rebecca's saying, won't we have to consult the school's master calendar to ensure the programs don't conflict with other previously scheduled events or days that teachers didn't realize were half days?
Wait, read it again. I want to make sure I answer all of that. So the master calendar part, okay. It is helpful to consult, to look if you have a calendar and it is readily available to you, because otherwise you find there's a lot of back and forth between artists and the teachers, or someone not expecting the artist to be there when there are conflicts. But in terms of like half days and short days and things like that, we've already sent the bell schedules and the district calendars for both Capital Prep and the remaining Hartford Public Schools to our teaching artists so that they are able to plan around things like half days.
And to clarify, the date that Catherine is looking for right now is to know when your school is planning to make their program selection. So not booking the programs yet, but you're selecting the programs. I'm sorry, not scheduling the programs yet, but booking the programs. I'm confusing myself. So between September 15th and October 3rd, we're hoping every school makes all of their selections and books their programs. And then you have time to schedule programs with the artists.
Lisa's asking, does everyone have to choose on the same day, or can lead teachers select as soon as possible? I have grade level teachers that did this last year, so they will be familiar with this process.
Well, I would love if the teachers did it as soon as possible. So if the teachers are familiar and they think they've got it under control, please go for it. I know some teachers, they've done it for years, I know have been around for a while, so please go for it. You don't have to wait for a specific date. But if there are teachers who, we just don't want the ball to be dropped on anything. So for the teachers who haven't done it, or teachers that might um, do better with having a solid date and time, then for those teachers and schedule with it. But if other people, as soon as you send it out on Monday and they want to get to booking, I love it.
Jill is asking, are the third and fourth grade programs on a predetermined date?
Yeah, studio programs, no. But if you go and the video, the teacher welcome video that shows you like how to browse, it goes into once you click in the program, it will tell you all of the details, the description, and you'll for third graders, you'll work with the Wadsworth on picking a date and time that works for the students to go. So that one, it's not predetermined. For something like the Hartford Symphony Orchestra, that one is on already a pre-scheduled date. And that I don't remember the date off the top of my head. I believe it's in December, but it is when you click on the Discovery concert for Hartford Symphony Orchestra, that information is in the description.
Joshua says, I know the day and time of our staff meeting, but I don't know a specific day time that my admins had in mind for signing up.
Well, put the information that you have in the survey if you can, if it will let you proceed. I don't think I put anything as like a mandatory answer, but do that. And then if we can chat a little bit more offline about that. And we have, sorry, I don't mean to keep checking. We've got 1 minute left. So if someone has like a really burning question that they would like an answer to, we can try and.
There are a couple more. Anne Marie says, since Montessori is grades 1 through 3 and 4 through 6, how does that work with the Wit and Wisdom programs?
I can answer that, Catherine. Don't
Thank
worry.
you. Thank you.
The teacher's going to make the best selection for their grade cohort on what's going to be most appropriate for their students. And it's okay if they pick a grade 3 alignment if the grade 1 and 2 students are part of that.
Thank you, Emily. So we are at time, but I know I don't want to cut anyone off if you had any questions, but if you do have to go, you are welcome. I know you have families and dinner and things like that. So if you do want to hop off, and Hartford Performs team, well, not Emily, because I think you're recording, but if anyone, I can stay for maybe another minute or two if because Kimberly, I know you said there were a few other questions in there, so I want to try and get through all of them. But again, if you do have to go, we did say 4:30, so if you have to go, I don't mind, but it's great meeting you, but let's see if we can get those questions answered in the next couple of minutes.
Okay, so the two of the three have been answered. Lisa asked, we have 2 pre-K classrooms. Do they both get $20?
Sorry, say it again.
We have 2 pre-K classrooms. Do they both get $20?
It's per grade level. So they do not both get $20. Pre-K gets $20 for the grade.
Before everybody hops off, I know we're trying to answer some questions, but before everybody hops off, if you want to be entered into the drawing to win a registration for cornhole, just put your name in the chat.
Thank you, Sarah. Kimberly, were there any other questions we can try to
Nope,
get to? Okay. Well, thank you. Well, I have a last slide. Okay. Thank you everyone for joining us this afternoon. I hope you found all of the information really helpful. I hope we were able to get your questions answered. If anything else comes up, feel free to shoot me an email, call, send me, schedule an appointment on Calendly. But have a great school year, and we are so excited to see all of the programs that you select.